10. Most beautiful palaces in the world. Once home to kings and queens, palaces were built not only to act as royal residences, but to project power and prestige. As such, monarchs and emperors vied with one another, commissioning lavish summer homes and assembling exquisite art collections with which to fill their endless halls and royal chambers. Besides the magnificent architecture and artworks, the former royal residences also boast gorgeous grounds and gardens, with plenty of fabulous fountains and flower beds on display. Due to their significant artistic, cultural, and historical value, these beautiful palaces now make for some of the most popular tourist attractions and museums around. So in today's video, we will be showing you 10 of the most beautiful palaces in the world and how they look like. But before we continue, kindly subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell icon to get notified whenever we drop a new video. Now let's roll in. Number 10. The Buckingham Palace. One of the most famous and photographed buildings on Earth, the Buckingham Palace in London has long been the residence of the British monarchs. Originally built in 1703 to be a large townhouse, over the years, it was slowly enlarged and redesigned, with its famous facade added in 1911. In total, the palace boasts 775 rooms, with many of them replete with fabulous furnishings, exquisite paintings, and age-old statues. Of these, the most impressive are the staterooms. These are open to the public each August and September and are where visiting heads of state stay when in London. Number 9. The Schönbrunn Palace. Lying on the outskirts of Vienna, the Schönbrunn Palace is one of the most popular tourist attractions in the whole of Austria. Painted a warm yellow color, the gorgeous Rococo Palace was once the summer residence of the Habsburgs, with Emperor Franz Joseph I born there. While only 40 of its 1,441 rooms are open to the public, these are extravagantly decorated, with beautiful ballrooms on show alongside resplendent and refined artworks, tapestries, and sculptures. Its endless gardens are just as delightful to explore. A marvelous botanical garden in Orangery can be found alongside the world's oldest zoo, which was once the Imperial Menagerie. Number 8. The Podala Palace. Set in an absolutely epic location atop of Marpori Hill in the center of Lhasa Valley, Podala Palace has long been one of the most important and impressive monuments in the whole of Tibet. Once the winter residence of the Dalai Lamas, the striking red and white palace was erected in 1649, although earlier versions have stood in the same spot since at least the 7th century. The colossal edifice contains over 10,000 shrines, with more than 200,000 statues thought to be dotted around its hallowed halls and ceremonial chambers. With towering mountains rising all around it, Podala Palace makes for an awe-inspiring sight and is an enduring symbol of Tibetan Buddhism. Number 7. The Château de Chambord. Nestled away in the Loire Valley, Château de Chambord is undoubtedly one of the pinnacles of French Renaissance architecture. Commissioned by Francis I to be a hunting lodge, its elaborate and enchanting design proudly showcased the monarch's fabulous wealth and power. Although much of its fantastic furnishings were stripped and removed following the French Revolution, visitors can still enjoy wandering around its elegant halls and chambers. All in all, the chateau's turrets and towers make for a spectacular sight, particularly when contrasted with the lush lawns and reflective moat that lie around it. Number 6. The Hawa Mahal. Famed for its elaborate and ornate facade, Hawa Mahal delightfully translates to the Palace of Winds in English. Completed in 1799, its pretty pillars, attractive arches, and dignified domes are mostly fashioned out of the wonderful red and pink sandstone that Jaipur is so renowned for. While the palace has some lovely buildings and courtyards for visitors to explore, as well as a fantastic archaeological museum, it is its honeycomb-like exterior that attracts the most attention. Set over 5 floors, the beautiful bays with their colored glass windows and intricate latticework look incredible and are the highlight of any visit to the palace. Number 5. The Topkapi Palace. Set in a beautiful spot on the banks of the Bosphorus, it is from Topkapi Palace that the sultans used to rule over the Ottoman Empire. Built in 1459 at the command of Mehmet the Conqueror, the palace boasts plenty of ornamented and ostentatious rooms, which feature some wonderful Islamic art and architecture. Besides its breathtaking halls and courtyards, there are also the glittering gems and jewels of the imperial treasury for visitors to check out, as well as the endless and extravagant apartments of the imperial harem. Now a magnificent museum, Topkapi Palace is one of Istanbul's most popular tourist attractions. Number 4. The Palace of Versailles. Although Versailles started out as a simple hunting lodge, it was turned into one of the greatest and grandest palaces ever seen under Louis XIV. The Sun King embellished and enlarged it before eventually turning it into his royal residence and the seat of his government. Although many of its most precious artworks and treasures were removed and placed in the Louvre following the French Revolution, extensive renovations and restorations have seen the palace return to its former glory. Now one of the most popular tourist attractions in France, each year, millions of people come to see its sumptuous royal apartments, as well as the glittering Hall of Mirrors and Royal Opera. In addition, its glorious gardens with their fantastic fountains and flower beds are also well exploring. Due to all the world-changing events that have taken place in its shining halls, the Palace of Versailles is one of the nation's most important historical, cultural, and architectural treasures. Number 3. The Alhambra. The Alhambra has long been one of the most renowned and recognizable palaces on earth. Built by the Nasrid Sultans in the 13th century, the large complex proudly exhibits lots of absolutely exquisite Andalusian architecture, with intricate designs and motifs wherever you look. Wandering around its beautiful gardens, sturdy fortifications, and colonnade-lined courtyards is a delight, while the Museum of Fine Arts has a fabulous collection of artworks for visitors to peruse. Among the many highlights are the magnificently carved columns and pretty pavilions of the Court of the Lions and the lovingly cared-for flowers and fountains of general life. With the majestic Sierra Nevada mountains lying in the background and verdant trees rising around its beige walls, Alhambra certainly makes for a memorable sight. Number 2. The Winter Palace. Once the residence of the Russian Tsars, the Winter Palace now houses the world-famous Hermitage Museum. Built in an Elizabethan Baroque style, its seemingly never-ending green and white walls are said to house over 1,500 rooms, with each of them ornately designed and decorated. The size and scale of the palace, not to mention the beautiful art and architecture on show, perfectly showcases the power and might of Imperial Russia. The monarchy and empire came crashing down, however, in 1917, when the Winter Palace was stormed in one of the deciding events of the Russian Revolution. Nowadays, the palace and museum are one of the highlights of any visit to St. Petersburg. Number 1. The Forbidden City. Ever since it was built in 1406, the Forbidden City has dominated and defined the center of Beijing, as well as China itself. The imperial home of emperors from both the Ming and Qing dynasties, it was from here that they ruled over their extensive empire. Set over a considerable area protected by a high wall and wide moat, the palace complex encompasses some 980 different buildings. These showcase lots of incredible Chinese palatial architecture, with the Hall of Supreme Harmony and Palace of Heavenly Purity just two of its must-see sights. Since the abdication of the last emperor in 1925, the Forbidden City has been looked after by the Palace Museum, which has an astounding array of artworks and artifacts for visitors to enjoy. The culmination of over 2,000 years of Chinese and East Asian art and architecture, the Forbidden City is one of the most important and impressive sights in not only Beijing but China. Let us know in the comment sections which of the palaces we'll love to visit one day. And that comes to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Kindly like and share with your loved ones. Thank you.